assuming I can get out of this. Good night, good evening, good night, Merry Christmas. I see people still coming in, so I want to just give us a minute. We'll get started in just a minute. Thank you for coming out tonight. I know a lot of people are concerned about getting out tonight, so we've encouraged everybody to wear masks while they're here, and I don't plan to be anywhere near you when I don't have this on, but I did want to at least be able to breathe. It helps when you're talking. So what I'd really like to do tonight first is just take a few moments and just to say how important I think it is for us to get together on Christmas Eve. You know, Christmas was the birth of Christianity, and if you grew up in a Christian religion, then you know that this is really one of the major days that Christians celebrate across the world. But it has so many other meanings beside the Christmas meaning. There are many things that we learn because of Christmas and because of the birth of the Christ child. And that's what I hope you'll leave tonight with, is feelings about what your life can mean by understanding the full story and revisiting and reflecting what this whole experience was about. And so let's just take a moment and we just give thanks for the opportunity to open our hearts to the Christ story, to think about ways that we can reflect upon the opportunities that Christmas brings, the true gifts of Christmas, and the meaning of this holiday. It's difficult sometimes to pause our busy lives and to take time to think about our spiritual empowerment, which comes from the divine source that we are all born with, and the chance to think about what matters most in life, which is bringing our divine self to the world. And without the whole Christmas story, we would not know just how important that is. And so tonight, we affirm that our hearts will remain open and that following this evening, we will allow ourselves to have renewed thinking, renewed thoughts, and renewed hearts. Amen. I also want to welcome our online audience. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope you enjoy the music and the service as well. All right, so imagine, if you will, what might have been going on Christmas Eve hundreds of years ago. So we know the story of the three kings, right? The three kings traversed afar. They crossed Babylon and Syria and Persia. And they were carrying all these gifts on these camels, following a star that was across to the east, knowing that where they were going was to see this baby, the promised child, the child that would change everything in their lives. And so they went all these miles waiting for their moment to walk up to the child. But so did everyone else. All these people made gifts, bought gifts, created special things to bring, thinking that they would be in favor by blessing this child with their gifts. But then came the story of the little drummer boy. The little drummer boy The song was written about a child who didn't have a gift, but he played the drum. And so the Magi summoned the little boy and told him he could come forward and play for the king, the new Christ child.
Come, they told me, ba-rum-ba-bum-bum, a newborn king to see, ba-rum-ba-bum-bum. Our finest gifts we bring, ba-rum-ba-bum-bum, to lay before the king, ba-rum-ba-bum-bum, rum-ba-bum-bum, rum-ba-bum-bum. So to honor him, ba-rum-ba-bum-bum, when we come, bum 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 ba-rum-ba-bum-bum, bum 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 ba-rum-ba-bum-bum. Bum 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 ba-rum-ba-bum-bum. Bum 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 ba-rum-ba-bum-bum. Rum-ba-bum-bum, rum-ba-bum-bum. Little baby, ba-rum-ba-bum-bum. I am a poor boy too, ba-rum-ba-bum-bum. I have no gift to bring, ba-rum-ba-bum-bum, that's fit to give a king, ba-rum-ba-bum-bum, rum-ba-bum-bum, rum-ba-bum-bum. Shall I play for you?
thank you for teaching them. Didn't I tell you you were in for a surprise? That was a lot of work. Great job, you guys. Thank you for your time. Really. All right. Well, I know it's hard to say, but we're going to get ready for meditation. And my heart's still racing with the drum beat, so we'll have to just bring it down. And Elliot, do you want to join me? Yes. All right. So let's take a few deep breaths. And just listen to the beat of your heart. We heard a beautiful voice from Mavi tonight. Amazing drummers. All the sounds that fill the air. And as we just relax into this evening, thinking about the true gifts of Christmas, preparing ourselves to go within, just find yourself in a place where you can get centered and let go of all the things you did today leading up to tonight. Listen to the words I'm going to share, taking in what was meant for you. Tonight I take time to acknowledge the true gifts of Christmas. A day that created the opportunity for faith and hope, peace, love, and joy to be part of my life. And while this may be a busy season, it is important for me to simply stop and immerse myself in the true meaning of this season. I open my heart and my mind to the real gifts of this lifetime. In this season of hope lies an opportunity for me to shine a new light on my life and on the world. Christmas is the perfect time for me to renew my connection to the divine and strengthen my light within. That divine light that I was born with, that can light the way whenever I need to. I let go of any worries that I have. And if there's anything I'm resisting in this moment, I release it. And I let it go and instead see the possibilities that exist for my highest good. The true meaning of Christmas is our shared human story of experiencing the birth of the indwelling Christ's presence. And the journey that begins in hope and in faith. It is that indwelling light that keeps me going every day. The power within, not the power outside of me, but the power within me. Tonight is a chance for me to open myself to the promise of spiritual renewal and strength. And to be reminded that my life is a gift that should be cherished and nurtured every day. I consciously choose to set forth my desire to live as someone who can shine my light on the world every single day. And on the days when my light feels dim, trust that that energy will be renewed when I let go and let God. I don't have to be in control of everything. I just think I do. But when I let that light within shine its light, I always know where I need to be, what I need to do, and what the right words are to say, coming from a place of divine spiritual light. Everyone around me has that light, but sometimes I don't see it. So when I get frustrated with other people, perhaps I need to turn my light up a little more and help them find theirs by just shining mine. Hope. That's what light brings. Hope. And hope is the window through which I can see the good that awaits me and awaits others. And as my hope matures into faith, I bring peace, love, and joy forward, changing the course of my life forever. I pause now to recognize the Christ's presence within, the image and likeness of God, which is the true gift this Christmas. I celebrate the Christ alive in me, expressing through me, and expressing through everyone around me. And I am one with the Spirit of God, which shines brightly on my life, and I am at peace. wasn't. So for the last 4 weeks, we've been talking about Advent, and we lit the candles, one every week. And now we light the center to complete the entire group. So hundreds of years before Jesus arrived, prophets predicted that this child would be born and that there would come a child with great purpose who would change the world. But one of the most significant stories surrounding Jesus' life was the actual night that he was born. And all the signs that people saw. And you know how we look for signs in our own lives, right? We're always looking for signs. What's the sign? That we're doing the right thing or headed in the right direction or going the right place or making the right decision. I agree with you. I fully agree with you. So one of the big signs was that there was an unusual star that had never been seen before. And as people looked to the east, they were awestruck by this amazing light. It served as a sign of hope to people, that the world would one day be better, and that maybe their lives would change. And it was all taking place in Bethlehem. People marveled at God's creation and the beauty and order of this amazing universe, that there would be a star to light the way for them to find their way to Bethlehem. They were inspired to see what God had planned for their lives. But there was also an angel, and we all have heard the story of the angel. The angel who came to tell the people that the child that they had been waiting for had been born. Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah and the Lord. People were in awe and overjoyed in the moment. The star, the angel, these were all signs that they needed in order to believe that this was really happening. And it was good news for actually all people at the time. Shepherds, wise men, angels, all inspired by this amazing night when this child was born. And as the news spread across the land, people came from everywhere, believing that just being in this child's presence would change their lives. Crowds gathered, people celebrated, brought gifts to a child they didn't even know. But they all believed that God would look favorably upon them if they did. Now, sometimes we wait for good news, right? And we look for these special moments in our lives when everything's going to turn around. But there has to be more than a moment. It's a big picture we have to look at. And that's what Christmas reminds us of. So let's just talk about Jesus' life, okay? So let's remember that he was believed to be the Son of the mighty power of God. The human form of this person, this being, this energy, this power that they had been afraid of for years. Just to see the child was going to be life-changing, right? But think about what they must have been going through. So they were taught to fear God, that bad things would happen to them if they didn't obey, that the skies would open up and the rivers would part and bad things would happen to bad people. But what Jesus came to teach was that all people were God's people. There weren't bad people. There were people who might do things that weren't helpful. But nobody was without a divine light. Nobody. And Jesus was the first one to bring that message. He didn't have any favorites. People suddenly, with the birth of Jesus, shifted from this consciousness of fear of the Almighty, the thunder and lightning God, to this human form of divine energy. This beautiful human being who wanted nothing more than the world to be full of hope and peace and love and joy. Let's talk about hope for a minute. Jesus brought a promise for a brighter future if people would just believe in the divine. Most of them didn't see much outside their daily routines. They thought all you see is what you see is what you get. But he taught them that there was something more. And his mere existence now is the reason that people still come together in hope for a brighter future. The child was supposed to be magical, do all these magical things. So his arrival was met with this great joy. But his whole life from that day forward, everyone followed him around. Those who believed he was right followed him. And they saw value in listening to him and the way he treated people and the kindness he showed. And if he was the son of the human, if he was the human son of God, then he must really represent what we needed to represent in our own lives. Through his teachings, Jesus helped people to let their faith be bigger than their fears. He taught them not to fear the power-hungry leaders of the time, to have faith in God, just like he did. It was their faith in God that helped them trust that they didn't have to be victims of this lifetime. So many of the people back in that time felt they were victims. If they didn't have money, if they didn't have gold, they were victims. They were prey for the powerful. But what Jesus tried to teach them is you didn't need anything more than faith. And as we all know the story, faith didn't have to be bigger than a mustard seed. Jesus spent his whole life modeling good behaviors. The behaviors of a loving spirit, behaviors of people that people had never seen before. Jesus was gentle and kind to everybody. He never expressed judgment of anyone. He didn't care if people were rich or poor or popular or unpopular, sick or healthy, unhealthy. It didn't matter, good or evil. He treated every single person the same and embraced them with the same spirit, the same respect. He spoke to everyone he met. He believed all people were sons and daughters of God, and he didn't see himself as special. Jesus' presence brought people together. He was the catalyst for people to enjoy fellowship and to talk about special topics like seeing God as love and his patience and his kindness, and understanding how faith in God could bring peace, tolerance, and acceptance to a world that had none of those things at the time. Jesus spent his short lifetime on this earth sharing what he believed to be messages of the divine. He never claimed ownership of anything he shared. He didn't take pride in anything that was of him. He always said, I speak to you from the divine. Imagine what life would be today if all of us did the same thing. Spoke to each other with that divine light in mind, knowing that the way we treated each other was of God. Would we do things differently? My guess is yes. He consistently shared that the answers to all questions lived within us. We didn't have to look anywhere, that we could just trust that we were divine. And he used real life experiences to show people from time and time again that all things were possible through faith and hope. But one of the best things we can take from Jesus' birth had purpose. His birth was to change the world. But believe it or not, that's true for each of us. Our only mission in this lifetime is to find our own divine light and to find our purpose and how to share that light and to be the light for ourselves and for others. And when our light gets dim, to allow others to help us. He wanted people to understand that their most important mission was to seek and reflect the divine, and each of us would learn to do that in different ways. He encouraged everyone to seek their purpose and to serve the world as gratitude to God for their lives. Think about that. That we would serve our lives in gratitude for the life we were given. And this is the time of year when we need to rethink that. Are we serving our purpose? Are we just doing things? Have we found the most important thing we can do to share our light with other people? Can we share the talents we were given? Jesus preached the importance of coming together as one group of people in all ways, and he encouraged everyone to have hope that one day, the world would be seen as one community. Makes me think of John Lennon. To even think that, imagine. We can learn from his divine example, and we can all let this Christmas be an opportunity for us to recommit ourselves to our own divine existence, to experience life in an empowering way, to know that the birth of this child on this eve, so long ago, changed the way people thought, the way they loved, the joy they shared, the faith they had, and the trust they showed. We could all find ways now, using this night as our reason to keep our own divine light shining brightly, to help us navigate this world, to lift our spirits, to lift the spirits of those around us, and to be that star in the east, the light that people follow, the hope and the future. And most importantly, we can let this Christmas be the catalyst that renews hope and faith in our hearts.
So we really tried to bring you guys a variety show this evening, hence all the little set changes. And the next one of our awesome musicians that we're going to feature this evening is Chris Myers. Thanks, guys. Thank you guys so much. And I really want to thank Chris. I really want to thank Chris. I really want to thank Tanya for working with our choir as well. Tanya has rehearsed with us, helped me direct, and just been such a blessing, man. And I appreciate you stepping up. And we put Chris in the prime time tonight with a little change of plans. So thanks, Chris Myers, everybody.
Well, and a special word of thanks to Elliot for organizing everything and being our leader here on the music team. And it's so great to get to experience everybody else's musical talents tonight. So thank you for everybody contributing. And we look forward to more singing and playing as we go along. Thank you.
I'll just. With my cold this week, I had to sing bass instead of alto. But hey, you know, I got to stand next to my husband, so that doesn't happen that often, actually. All right, I just want to say, first of all, I hope you noticed all the beautiful lights. I hope you looked around you. It's just beautiful. And you're awesome to have come out and spent tonight with us. Thank you for not making us do all this alone. Would have been really unfortunate. But I just want to first wish you an amazing Christmas, one that reminds you to shine your light and to bring your light to the world. And so we just pause for a moment as we reflect upon the Christ story. We give thanks for the true gift of Christmas within each of us, the Spirit alive within all, the opportunity to find our mission, and the chance to make a difference in the world. May we all go forth in hope, peace, love, and joy, not just today and tomorrow, but for the rest of our lives. Amen.